What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today is the 9th day of my alternate day fasting, which means that I am now day 5 of not eating anything. So far, it's been going really, really well, surprisingly well. My energy is not terrible. I have seen a little bit of a dip on the days that I'm not eating. However, today I haven't eaten anything and I feel like I've got plenty of energy. So it's not consistent yet as far as how I'm feeling. There were a couple of days there where I didn't feel like I was up for much, but I also didn't feel like I had to go to bed right away either. The hunger has the hunger pangs have gotten a little bit stronger. Right now, I'm definitely hungry. I could definitely eat something, but I did get to eat yesterday, and I know that tomorrow I actually get to eat something, and that's kind of keeping me going. I'm looking forward to it a little bit more than I've ever looked forward to breakfast, lunch, or dinner, but it is coming and it's not too far away at this point. So I am excited about it, and I do notice that I really appreciate food more now than I have in the past. Before, I would just be eating whatever I wanted, kind of whenever I wanted, and that's what got me to where I am today. So now I'm actually thinking about it, thinking about it a lot more. And I had an interesting situation happen yesterday, which was a day that I was actually eating. I had a coworker come up with a big box of beautiful donuts from my favorite donut shop, and he holds them in front of me and he offers me one, and I didn't even think about it. I just said, no, thank you. Because I wasn't hungry at that moment. I had had a good breakfast, and I didn't feel like I needed to eat anything, and for whatever reason, I wasn't craving the sugar to eat it, which I normally I cannot tell you if there has ever been a moment in my life that I've turned down a donut, ever, especially from this particular donut store. So there are some little changes that are happening that I'm noticing that I'm not even really consciously making an effort to change, that are changing in a good way. Short of the little bit of an energy dip and the just feeling kind of hungry right now, I would say this so far has been the best kind of diet or eating plan that I've ever done or tried. And so I'm excited to keep going with it and seeing how much more progress I'll have. If you saw my last video, you'll have noticed that I'd only been doing it for 7 days and I lost 12 pounds. That's almost 2 pounds a day, which is crazy considering I was hoping to lose a total of 2 pounds a week. So I'm going to just keep going with it. I do weigh-ins every 7 days. So we've got a few more days until I do the next weigh-in. I'm really curious to see if it's anywhere near a 12-pound drop in my weight. I have a very strong suspicion that the weight that I lost was mostly water weight. It's still weight. It's still pounds that I've got to carry around with me day to day. So I'm really hopeful that tomorrow or on my next weigh-in that I've still lost some weight. If it's not another 12 pounds, I'm going to be okay with that, because I don't think that's realistic to lose 12 pounds every 7 days. So I wanted to talk to you about some of the health issues and some of the reasoning behind why I'm doing what I'm doing. So when I was 18 years old, I actually had a heart attack. I have something called myocardial bridging, and it basically, the very non-medical terminology and the way that it works, and I'm nowhere near any kind of professional with this, but the way that I understand it is that there is a artery in my heart that is growing into the actual heart itself. So when the heart contracts, it can actually shut that artery off. It causes a heart attack. So when I was 18 years old, I was nowhere near the size I am now. I was running up and down a mountain. I was exerting myself. We were sledding down, running up, sledding down, running up, sledding down. And that night I had a heart attack. It was incredibly painful. It felt like the best way I can describe it is it felt like somebody parked a truck on your chest, on my chest. Um, I was having a hard time breathing. I was just sweating profusely, and me being an 18-year-old punk kid, sitting in a living room with my mom, being told like, hey, you need to go to the emergency room and get this checked out. I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'm just sick. I've got some kind of bug. I don't want to go. And thankfully, my mom was there, and she said, if you don't get in the car right now to go to the emergency room, which was at the time less than a mile from where I was, she was going to call an ambulance and make them take me. So I didn't want all of that to happen. So I got in the car, I went to the emergency room, and I spent the next week in the ICU because I was having a heart attack. I've seen so many cardiologists over the years. We've done treadmill tests, we've done all kinds of testing, and thankfully my heart is functioning properly, short of this little issue with the bridging. But that was an eye-opener for me back when I was 18 years old. And in the subsequent testing that I've had, the doctors have said, hey, your heart's functioning right now, your arteries are clear, but you're not doing yourself any favors by carrying around all this extra weight. It's not going to help you as you get older. This has been since I was 18. I have not done anything for it for the last 21 years. So a few years back, I drove to the airport to pick my wife and son up. They had gone on a trip to visit some family, and it had been a really long day. I had worked really late the night before. I was slamming Red Bulls and coffees just to keep awake so I could get down and pick them up and get them back home. And throughout the day, we even went to a birthday party down where I picked them up. And I'd been just drinking caffeine all day long. I'd never had a problem with caffeine. And this was, about 10 years ago now. I was driving back on the highway, and there was a 5-lane highway. We were all the way over in what I consider the fast lane. Driving along. There was traffic everywhere, and I felt like somebody had reached behind the driver's chair where I was sitting, grabbed me by my shoulders, and pulled me out of my body. That's what it felt like. It was hands down the scariest moment I've ever had in my life. I literally thought like I was going to die. And I did not know it at the time, but I was having another heart attack. This time triggered totally by caffeine. So incredibly scary moment. I ended up passing out. My wife grabs the wheel from the passenger seat, just yanks it over to the side. By some miracle, we did not crash. And this was down in Los Angeles. If you've ever been to LA and you've tried to call 911, they put you on hold. It's not a quick answer the phone and help you out. By some miracle, there was an ambulance that saw this all happen. They pulled up right behind us. They had just got off a call, pulled up right behind us to check to see what was going on. Not a normal thing for an ambulance to do. And they were able to get me over to the hospital where I spent the night. And again, a whole lot more testing and confirming like, yeah, it's, you've got this heart condition. You shouldn't be drinking caffeine. Nobody ever told me that. So I stopped drinking caffeine 10 years ago. I love coffee, but I had to give it up. Not too long after that, I had replaced caffeine with decaf coffee because I could still get the flavor. I started drinking that decaf, and apparently there's enough trace amount caffeine in there for myself that it triggered not a heart attack this time, but it sent me into a really bad phase of AFib, where my heart, it just feels like your heart is beating out of your chest. It's not a consistent rhythm. It's very scary. And again, went to the ER, and that time they used the paddles on me to get me out of that. So I've had a lot of experiences with my heart. It's very scary. It's something that's always in the back of my mind of, if am I doing the right thing for my heart to keep myself healthy? And at the same time, in the back of my mind, knowing I am overweight, very overweight, and carrying all this extra weight and being told by the cardiologist time and time and time again, this isn't helping you. Like, you've got to lose this weight. It's not causing anything right now, but as you get older, it will and potentially can kill you if you don't get it under control. There's something about turning 39 and going into my 40s now where it's just been a trigger for me. I'm so fired up to lose this weight. I'm so fired up to stick with this alternate day fasting no matter how hungry I get. Y'all don't know me, but I'm definitely one of the most stubborn people you will ever know, almost to my own demise sometimes. In this case, I am. It's gonna benefit me because I can get really, really hungry, and I won't give up on this because I don't want to fail myself. So I wanted to share that story with you. I've been through all kinds of medical problems. Those are some of the biggest ones that I wanted to share because it is weight related in a sense that I need to lose the weight because I do not want to die of a heart attack. I've been there. I've had a heart attack. I've had a couple of heart attacks. It hurts. It hurts so bad. It is not like a quick thing. I think for some people it probably is. For me, it wasn't. It felt like my chest was being crushed. I don't ever want to experience that again. I don't want it to happen while I'm driving my family around. I want to be here for my family. I want to see my kids get married. I want to be here for my wife to support her. I have so much to live for. And, just being lazy and making all these excuses for years and years and years and years and years to not lose this weight and to start it for a month and then give up. It's just got to stop. And so this is my journey. I'm glad you're all here to experience it with me. This is mostly for my journaling, so I can just kind of remember where I'm at, what I've gone through, how I was feeling. But if anybody can learn anything from it or experience it or share experiences with me, like you're more than welcome to join along and chime in. Subscribe to my channel. My videos will post. You can like it if you like it. If you dislike it, dislike it. It's I'm here to just kind of record this and share my experiences. So far, the alternate day fasting has really been great for me. I know I'm only 9 days in total, but I'm already seeing and feeling changes in myself and my body, the way that my clothes are fitting. And it's only been 9 days. So I can only imagine what this is going to look like 2, 3, 4, 6 months from now. I think it's going to be great. And I cannot wait to continue on with it and see in the future what it actually looks like and what I've gone through this little short journey to get to where I wanted to be years ago, but I was too lazy to do anything about it. So again, if you're new to the channel, if you don't mind hitting that subscribe button down below, doesn't cost you anything, helps me, just shows that you're there in this journey with me, and you're experiencing some of this stuff too. I appreciate it, and I will talk with you all later. Take care.